Welcome to the Mortgage Broker Builder Show, the CEO 1440 show, where we talk about mortgages, real estate, all kinds of things to help you improve your 1,440 minutes every single day. Hopefully make a little bit more money, maybe have a little bit more time, something along those lines. But guest this week, his name is Deven. He's here from a place called HOVA Digital. He's went out on a limb. He's done the scary thing. He became self-employed, quit his job, and decided to go all in on a CRM, marketing system, kind of a whole lot of things. I wouldn't just bucket him as a CRM. So I wanted to welcome him here. A lot of you may not know him, but you probably will, and you will after this. So Deven, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks, John, for the introduction. It's actually cool how me and John met. We met through LinkedIn, if I remember, because someone introduced us. It just shows the power of like social media, building your personal brand. But yeah.
Yes, someone that like works with you reached out. And you know how many, like I get so many requests of different people with, that are going to 10X my business from the Philippines, Pakistan, right? Like from all, mostly, someplace not here. And so somebody had reached out and was like, oh, you should check this out. I'm like, it's probably not. But then had a good conversation. They jumped in and got into our group on the back end to my mortgage broker builder community. And the guy's like, this is really cool. You got to see what we're doing. And I'm like, so it progressed from there, and you and I are here. And I loved what you were doing, and like it lines up with a lot of the things that I think are important in today's world. And being video, being authentic, being yourself, actually not being just another AI bot. And I'm like, well, let's have a conversation. Let's see where it goes. And if there's a way, if I have clients that I can help, do more business because they partner up with you, like awesome. And it makes me look good if you don't look bad. So
yeah. And is that okay if I talked about like why I created HOVA and the loan officers I'm helping with?
I was actually going to like kind of just walk back. So you've started a company called HOVA Digital. You were most recently working at a place called Story. You left there, and now you're like running a high level agency, Facebook ads, the whole 9 yards. Kind of walk me through where you were 10 years ago, how you got to where you are today, and what, wild hair you got up your ass to say, I'm going to quit my job and just go and sell, SaaS. I'm going to sell CRMs in the crowded world of CRMs.
Yeah. I'll kind of walk everybody through it. So I've been in the mortgage industry 7 years, going on to 8 years. And I got into the...
He started when he was 15.
Yeah, 15.
If you look at him, he was 15. He started. He can drink now, and he can buy vape pens if he needs to. He's old enough, barely.
It's so funny. But I actually
you look like a kid. It's okay, right? I'm old, but like it's okay. We'll leave it at that.
No.
I'm old. You're not.
Well, the funny thing is, I accidentally got into mortgage, like everybody else did, or everybody that I hear that gets into mortgage. And I was 18. Close, John. I was 18 at the time. So actually, I guess I've been in the mortgage industry 8 years. So I was 18, got married, we got pregnant the next month, we had a baby, and I'm like, okay, I got to get like a job that actually pays money, right? So I went and interviewed at these random companies. One was a mortgage company. I knew nothing about Facebook ads. I knew nothing about marketing. Not a single thing about marketing. And this company, I think they just hired me because like I was young, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy has to know about social media. So they hired me. It's a good salary at the time. And what I did for the company was I managed the CRM for loan officers, because what they realized, and I'll get into this later on as we talk, is most loan officers, it doesn't matter the CRM, their job isn't to go in and do the marketing campaigns for themselves. The only thing a loan officer should use their CRM for when they log in, update their contacts, and use their conversations, right? Like the goal, like that is like the dream for a loan officer, just to keep building their business and have someone manage the CRM for them. So that's what I did. One thing that I noticed was every loan officer was getting the same campaign, like the same holiday emails, the same recipe emails that got a high unsubscribe rate, the same lead campaigns. And I did that for a few years, and I went to another company called Nations Lending, and I helped them build out a marketing assistant program where they kind of branded it to the loan officer, and they were more focusing on the loan officer's brand rather than the company brand. And then I was working on a side gig, Story. Didn't have ownership, just was there from day one. Grew over to like over 1,000 clients, and I was there from the beginning, so I knew how to like scale it. I was the only salesperson, and I did that for 5 years. And nothing against Story, I just always wanted to do my own thing. and I loved working with loan officers. And I realized loan officers need to build their personal brand. So there's two types of loan officers. You have like the corporate loan officer, right, where you have like, I won't say any company names, but company name slash devengillen.com, right? Or and you're part of like this company where it's all about branding the company. Then you have another loan officer who owns their own brokerage, but they don't even know where to start with marketing. I'm ideal for both because we're trying to grow the loan officer's personal brand. I'll stop there, John, and then we can get into like why I use Go High Level. But does that help kind of like give a sense of why I started it?
No, I mean, I think it does. And it maybe just go into what story was a little bit and what you were seeing. But I see the exact same thing all the time
Yeah.
in that people, and for years, I spent the first part of my career at the Big Red Machine, which is now Rocket, right? Where everything there was the company brand, the company this, but it was virtually impossible to have a personal brand. Like late 90s, when I got started, our company took out a half-page ad in the Detroit Free Press. And that was like our big marketing thing. And I worked Sundays because I was young and had nothing else to do. I would sit on the phone on Sundays, and I got a lot of business just because I was grinding. I didn't have a personal brand. I was connecting it to my company brand because that's all that was there. And then that morphed into, when they would do the banner display ads. You probably don't even remember. But like on MSN or Yahoo, you would buy banner display ads. And that was like, it was the company buying those ads, but you got the credibility from the company. Fast forward to today, company credibility matters, I think, a lot less. And it is leaning more to the individual loan officer. And these are the things that you and I aligned on. I believe that people buy for three reasons. And they want certainty. They want certainty in the company, that the company's real, legit, they don't suck. They want some certainty in the products that you're going to offer. Right? Is it a real thing? And then they want some certainty in the person that they're going to buy from. Well, the company I work for, they have their brand. The products are the products to a certain extent. So really the only thing I, as an individual, can control, or the loan officers I coach, is what does my personal brand tell me? What does it say about me? And how do I make that as good as possible? And so, again, when we started talking and you started showing me some of the stuff you were doing with the videos and laying out the cadence and the way things are, it's like, this makes a lot of sense for some of my clients, maybe not all of them, right? But it makes a lot of sense for the guy that's been doing mortgages for 30 years. And he's just not, right? He doesn't want to dance on TikTok. He's got a unique story. And his story just is, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'll get your loan closed on time. I don't suck. And my pricing's competitive. And you can trust me, right? That's his whole story. But that's really hard to convey dancing on TikTok, where, maybe there's a better way to do it. And I think that's kind of what you're trying to do there. And can you just tell me a little bit about kind of what are your thoughts on that, on just the personal brand and what you've seen really work?
Yeah, for sure. And so that's why I use Go High Level. So I don't own Go High Level. Everybody that's probably listening to this knows what Go High Level is. There's a lot of Go High Level agencies that have a template or a snapshot that they put into your account, and then you got to kind of figure it out yourself. I basically take those snapshots and I put it on steroids for building a personal brand. Everything that I do is custom to the loan officer. So I do have templates where it's everything you need, right? For loan status updates and basic campaigns. What I want to do is I want to do something different where I implement video into everything that I do. And I'll kind of give you an example of this. I had a loan officer, this was a couple weeks ago, did a really good job on a loan, and it was a big loan, a big amount. And he was working with this client just over 3 years ago. So it was pretty recent. Got a good review from the person, and the person went and got a loan with another loan officer, and the loan officer saw it on their Facebook, and he's like, hey, what the heck? But he didn't say it that way. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, it wasn't because you didn't do a good job. I just forgot your name. I forgot completely. I was trying to find you, and I couldn't find you. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use video to stay in front of your real estate agents, stay in front of your past clients, and stay in front of your leads. If anybody here is an Alex Hormozi fan, he talks about the majority of your content should be educational content, because when you send those sales emails to your database, I promise you they're going to unsubscribe or get a bad taste in their mouth. So we're trying to educate everybody that knows you and people that could potentially know you, so you become the preferred person they go to get their information. Does that help, John? Kind of with that?
Hey, John here, not trying to sell you anything, coming at you with a bunch of hot commission breath. But what this is an FYI letting you know that we do have a community where we have shared hundreds of posts, hundreds of sales scripts, techniques, tactics, different things to help you grow your business and maximize your 1,440 minutes every day. I'm not sure if it's for you, but it definitely could be for you. So go in there and check it out. CEO1440.com will take you to a place. You can join our free group, give it a sniff test. If you like it, awesome. We've got a lot of other things. We probably would like to sell you something, but right now, that's our gift to you. Get in there, check it out. CEO1440 will take you to a place where you can sign up to be part of our free group. Enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, it helps a ton. I saw some interesting stats, and this has to do with leads, why all these things matter. There was a study that was done back in 1979. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you. There was a study done, and they took a cohort of like 15 to 22-year-olds in 1979. And they did a snapshot. It was, it wasn't like just white dudes. It was like a well mix of like, a little bit of everybody, a melting pot. And they tracked them from 1979 through 2016. And here were some really interesting things that have kind of shifted my mindset, my belief around who is a lead and why these things matter. What they found was 90.05% of those people over that window of time purchased a home. So essentially, you could go back in 1979, 90% of the people out there ended up becoming homeowners. So for you and I that do marketing, whatever, most people that are walking down the street are a prospect or have already owned a home. So that's thing number one. So the whole world is the top of our funnel. Number two is we spend too much time speaking to things that aren't real, like pertinent to them and problems. So if I can identify that everybody's a lead, all I need to do is resonate with them and actually answer questions that they may have. So now I keep those people in my funnel longer. And all I want to do is I just need them to remember, like you said, I just need them to remember my name. That when they are thinking about that, oh yeah, that John guy mentioned something about, before you purchase a home with your girlfriend, here's 5 things you need to know. He mentioned it. Maybe I'll go in and I'll reach back out, because everybody else is just telling me to click the apply now button, and I'll make it fast and simple, and I'll dance on TikTok. So doing those things is really, I think, where you make authentic bonds, and those people will remember you.
Can I share a cool story about the weekly market update I do for agents?
Fire away.
So
share whatever you want.
Okay.
We're live.
So I have this loan officer that I talked to 4 months ago, and part of what I do is when I complete an appointment, I have an educational campaign go out that sends them weekly updates about marketing. That's a video. I've had a 90% conversion on that campaign, by the way, after they've spoken to me. I'm not selling at all. I'm just educating so they remember my face and that provide value. Fast forward 3 months after I talked to her, she's like, hey, Deven, you've been providing a lot of value. I want to give you a shot. I just had that happen today as well, by the way. It's just wild why I do this for loan officers. And anything I tell a loan officer to do, I do it for myself. It's just I'm not a mortgage loan officer. I do it for my business, but I know what to implement. So fast forward to today. This was actually last week. We've been sending a weekly market update about what's going on in the market to all of our real estate agents. And one of the real estate agents reached out to her and said, hey, I want to introduce you to the builder that I work with. She gets introduced to the builder. She's going to be, over the next year, have a pipeline of $10 million in funded loan volume. Guess what the video was? It was her outside, not a professional background or anything, just talking about what's going on in the market. I edited the video. I scripted the video. I sent it. I posted on social media. I sent it into her email campaigns. She just followed the process. So I think hopefully that helps loan officers know, one, you don't need this crazy background or camera setup. You just need to do the dang videos to stay in front of these people. And we weren't saying in the email, hey, reach out and schedule an appointment with me. We were just providing value. And the real estate agent reached out themselves, but just shows how important video is in education.
Yeah, I have a thing that I've been talking about lately, and we have a community on the back end where I let people come in and I share a ton of stuff. You're in there, you see like every day I'm sharing little tidbits and tactics and different things just about my business and about things that could potentially help you. And I have people raise their hand like, hey, John, I need additional help. I wasn't like coming at them all the time. Like, would you like one-on-one coaching? Do you want like, hey, I need a little bit more help. I liked what you were talking about there. So again, if you just stay in front of people, you will get that. And then following the process, I think, is super huge. And sending stuff, I stopped looking at emails. Any email that I send or any piece of messaging is no longer anything other than a prospecting email. So even if you're sending a status update about an appraisal, that to me is a processing email or is a prospecting email. And I have an opportunity to get an agent to think I do something a little bit different, to have the client feel more comfortable referring their friends and family. Maybe some woman that sees it 3 down on the thread at a title company. So it's like, oh, that was really good that the loan officer actually explained everything on the appraisal in a video. So like walking through, not just doing the bare minimum, actually going above and beyond. And if you think about a client, like you said, that one there is going to lead to $10 million in loan volume. I look at when you're processing a file or you have a loan in process, I would look at each one of those loans as 6 more loans over the next 2 years. 2 that the client's going to bring you, 3 that the selling agent's going to bring you, right? And 1 that you're going to get from the listing agent. So you're going to get 6 more deals. So would you put the extra time into the emails if you knew you were going to close 6 loans? Let's say that's 6 loans at $5,000 a pop. Well, what is that, right? You do the math, that's $30,000.
Yeah.
Of additional, like, would you spend the extra time on an email if it meant you were going to make $30,000 over the next 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah, I do that all day.
And I love John.
But they won't because
I love the prospecting like thought on that. Sorry, keep going. I just like I love that how you.
Just if you change it, you have the same mindset, right? We've talked like you're not sending a processing email. Everything is prospecting, intentionally or unintentionally. Everything we do is building a brand. Right? Like me having my Hulk Hogan mustache today, right? Intentionally or unintentionally, like somebody's looking at this thinking I'm a creep. Somebody's looking at it thinking it's funny. Somebody's looking at it, right? It doesn't matter. You're building a brand in the world we're in today where things are on camera. If you're not at least a little bit intentional about it, you're going to just be letting opportunities pass by. And I can tell you who is intentional about it. Rocket Mortgage is very intentional about what they're doing. You know, the big companies, they're intentional about these things. So you've got to compete where they can't.
Yep.
And I think it's just super, to me, it's really fun to be alive in today's world.
Yeah, and I think so. A lot of loan officers, I feel like, were scared about like all these big mergers from these larger mortgage companies, and they're also afraid of AI. You got to remember, though, in today's world, like people work with you because of you. They're not going to go search your company's name. They're going to search your name. Like no one's going to go and search HOVA Digital after this. They're going to go to like my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn. They're going to see, one, am I a good person? Is like one of the most important things is like your reputation. And 2, am I actually providing value for loan officers? And they're going to search my name, not my company. So I think a lot of loan officers have realized like we got to make the switch to building that personal brand. And here's why. You got to find a CRM that when you leave, if you leave your corporate like mortgage company, you don't lose all of your data and all the things that you've built with that. And that's why I love Go High Level, is because a loan officer can leave their company. It's in Go High Level. It's theirs. They could even leave me. I would hate that and I'd be really sad, but it's their stuff that they've built over being with me. Another story, I forgot to mention this because this happened yesterday. The same loan officer that lost that big deal because he wasn't in front of his clients, yesterday we were going through his stats. A client reached out from 3 years ago that he closed a loan with. Another really big deal. It was a separate client. The reason he reached out, we looked at the open rate and the click. It's because the guy watched the video of that loan officer. So he remembered who he was. In the video, all it was, we were just educating on common questions, because every 2 weeks I look up what people are asking in the industry. That was the video. And then he reached out right after because he remembered him. Crazy.
Hey, John here. If you're anything like me, you like to get in, poke around, you like to check things out before you go diving in head deep. We've got a group where you can do that very thing. CEO 1440 is a community. We post in there all the time. There's hundreds of different people, a lot of different conversations, and things that you may be able to take away and apply into your business. Now, the guarantee, I can't make you any guarantees. It's not going to 5X your business, but what it might do, it could 5X your business, probably will give you some things that you can tangibly take away and start applying in your business every single day. Everything we post may not be for you, but it definitely could be for you. So check it out. The group's free. Would love to see you in there. CEO1440.com. Enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, it's not that hard, but it's really so it's not hard. It's just also not simple. It's hard to execute on those things. Probably one of the biggest mistakes I've seen people make, and I've been doing this now for 28 plus years, is a lack of databasing just along the whole way. There's people that spend, and you saw it when companies were getting shut down, where they'd been with the company for 8 years. They hadn't done anything wrong. 10 years, they'd closed hundreds of files, and the company just decided not to carry on. They didn't, like, as a person, you didn't do anything wrong. Your company shut down, and your database was in there. Your brand was in there. Everything was commingled with that, to the point where today, if you're a loan officer, even if you're at, one of the big behemoths, maintaining your own individual system outside of there, to me, is just massive. And we have the luxury today of a couple of CRMs that people don't like, that your company can't own. That being, like, your Instagram is a CRM. It's not a great one, but it is a CRM. Facebook, LinkedIn, those are all CRMs. They're just harder to do the outbound marketing. You can't send an email to everybody. You get to send an email to whatever percentage of the algorithm thinks it should queue up your video to it. Where augmenting it with an actual CRM, you layer that, and now you can hit all of the people at the appropriate times with some of those things. So you're in high level, right? Which so many people use high level. Yeah. You've mentioned it a few times. I'm familiar with it in that we use it on our business side. So, like, on the mortgage broker builder side, I use it to automate the emails that came to you, the text that came 5 minutes before this was starting, telling you to log on, and here's the stuff. What do you really think? And I have my opinion, but there are so many agencies on high level today. Like, it's all over the place. What do you think is really setting that platform apart from, like, what was it? ClickFunnels was the one from a few years ago, or maybe a Salesforce where you can build out all these things. It's just, I guess Salesforce costs like 50 times more. Yeah. But what do you really like? What are you super keen on the high level piece? Being able to, like, what makes it really cool in your belief?
Yeah, so I think the cool thing about Go High Level, and also I'll back up a little bit, I've managed every mortgage CRM you can think of: Bonzo, Jungo, Total Expert, Surefire. You have, like, those plugins that are into Salesforce, like everything you can think of. I've been using Go High Level for 5 years, so I have just a little bit more knowledge. And the thing that I love about Go High Level, it's so customizable for the loan officer. So I have 66 loan officers I'm working with right now, right? Not a single one of them has the same process, or do they look exactly the same, meaning they have like a twin, right? So I'm building it custom to the loan officer with these videos. I can do that because Go High Level lets me customize it to whatever we want. Example of this, John, FinLocker, we didn't have that implemented. Now we're working on an implementation that's going to work for one of your clients. It's just super easy for me as a marketing guy to customize everything. For the loan officer, they can go do all this marketing, Go High Level, but that's why I created this company, is because I'm doing it for them. But it just makes it so easy to keep track of your loans. It makes it easy to add tasks to contacts, and you can see all the conversations inside of Go High Level. So for a loan officer, it's just what you need in a CRM, where I won't mention the other CRMs, but there's some CRMs that offer, like, single property website, single property flyers, all these things that a loan officer isn't going to do and isn't valuable anymore. We just need to make it easy for you to have a mobile app and a desktop to go in, log in, update your contacts, and then if you want, do the marketing as well. It's an option, but that's what I do. So does that help?
Yeah, I think that it does. And another, just some things that I would plug to anybody that's doing it. High Level isn't just a mortgage specific type thing. So there's a lot of just different integrations, things that they're constantly building out, billing platforms, linking to Facebook ads, just a lot of stuff that you may not ever want to figure it out, but just know that there's tens of thousands of people trying to figure out and optimize this system across the board. And it only benefits, right? As high level gets better, it rises, as the tide comes in, when all the ships, high tide, I don't even know what the saying is. I know what it is, but not like the exact. So to me, it's something that's really cool. And I went and tried something else in a CRM and it was like proprietary. I couldn't figure it out. I had like all these gatekeepers on the back end telling me what I had to go to like a guy that he would then send a ticket, where with you're in there, but you also have access. If I want to go in and create my own, whatever, I want to create my own barcode things, or I want to create a URL redirect. Like, it has the tools that are just in there that if I have any inkling myself, I can do in addition to all the stuff you do. Yeah. One of the things that I think is interesting, and anybody listening to this, if you got questions about CRMs, like, reach out. I'll give you the skinny on all of them. I love what Deven's doing. But also the way you've got it set up today, I tell people this, I'm like, check it out. Like, the way he's doing it and what he's charging you for the level of service you're getting, like, it's going to change, because you're giving, in my estimation, thousands of dollars of service at a fraction of the cost. Like, you might be more expensive than the guy that just gives you, 24 snapshots and this is, take it or leave it, this is what you get. And like, it's slightly more expensive, but I believe what you're giving people from a value standpoint, like, you're giving them their time back. There's the Dan Martell book behind you. They struggle a lot with getting their CRM set up. And it's not that the CRM's bad. It's just that there's a disconnect between what the loan officer actually needs, what the CRM can deliver, and how much friction there is between those two. And I would just commend you. Like, you're making it really easy for them. And I have, dozens of clients that have bounced from CRM to CRM, never really feeling like they ever got it working good. And a couple of them have moved over to you, and they're like, so far so good. Like, he's coming through on his word. So kudos to you there.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. I know eventually I can only take so many clients, but another benefit of working with me is you're working with me directly. I will always have the business this way. I don't want to because I love working with loan officers. If you can't tell it, what drives me. So you're working with me directly. You have my cell phone number. You have my email. You can schedule an appointment with me. I know I can only scale so far with that, but I only want to work with loan officers that are serious about building their personal brand. Example of this, I had a loan officer call me today. She landed a new builder client. She's like, hey, I want to wow these builders. They don't have any website. So there's stuff that I do that I can customize for you. And she's like, could we build a landing page that brands me and the builder agent, and then set up automation when someone submits a form on the website, the builder agent gets notified? It's funny because you'd think every builder would have this technology, but they don't. So they're going to be like, holy crap, this is the best thing in the world. Guess who's going to become a lender for that builder because she went the extra mile? It's going to be her. But she didn't know what to do for the strategy. So she called me, we brainstormed, and now we're going to start this campaign with them. So I try to really figure out what a loan officer needs, and not just be like, here's your snapshot, good luck. It's no, let's build it for you and what's going to help your business, if that helps.
Hey, if you're listening to this, quick reminder, we have a free group, CEO1440.com. Jump in there. Tons of posts, tons of information, a lot of stuff we're bringing day in, day out to help you do more with your 1,440 minutes every single day. CEO1440.com. Check it out. And I think it's cool with some of the things that we're doing, right? So we've got these co-branded calculators.
Yeah.
And the co-branded calculator is the loan officer and the agent. Well, those co-branded calculators are now getting lead capture better and better on the front end, to where every time somebody goes in there, well, if I start thinking about that mortgage calculator, something that's Googled 3 to 5 million times a month. If you're a real estate agent and you just let your client go off to Bankrate to get that done, Bankrate's really good at extracting your client from you and your loan officer and taking it over to their loan officer. And like the next thing you know, it was your idea that sent them off on the internet. Now they're closing with somebody else. And being able to integrate that fully and have an understanding of how that happens to where you want a calculator co-branded, here you go. I can give them the calculator. I can say, Devin, they got a calculator. Boom, it's on their website. You've added the things in there. Super simple. And now it's another form of lead capture. Or with the Fin Toolbox, right? That every client that fills that out is going to become, hopefully that gets turned on here really soon. We're working on it. But somebody fills out your Fin Toolbox. The second they complete that initial thing, it becomes a lead in your system. So start looking, riddle me this, Batman. They fill it out. It becomes a lead in your system. A video goes out with your face. Hey, thanks for checking out our Fin Toolbox. Super excited to have you here. Most of my clients get to this point because you were just kicking tires. You didn't want to click the apply now link. I get it. I don't like to fill out stuff either. Should you have any questions, reach out. If not, good luck playing around. Thumbs up. And right, so it's a personalized video, and now they're in your ecosystem, and you never sprint it at them. Like, come fill out my apply. The importance of 5 key critical steps why you must send me your W-2s today to get pre-approved when you make $600,000 a year, and you already know you'd get approved, and you can buy the house cash if you want to. So I think it's neat.
John, like a good,
you can tell.
A good example of this, like the other John I talked to yesterday, John Doyle, not you, John. He's like, I have this CRM where it's sending out these emails and these texts, and it's the same stuff everybody else is sending, and like 5 other people are getting that same lead, right? How can you differentiate yourself from everybody else? He said these leads don't know him when he calls. Every single person I've worked with so far, and there's been 66, I said it's so nice because when you help me map the leads into the CRM, when I call that person, they're expecting a call from me. They're like, oh yeah, I saw your video. Like, I know your face. Like, yeah, I'm looking to get help with this. That's the difference between just using a snapshot or just using what your company uses. Like, that's why I use video with everything. So,
yeah, I have a saying, it's better to be different than better. And I actually got that from a different marketing person, but better is if you're trying to be better than somebody else, it's an improvement offer. I have to be better than what? The rate needs to be better. But when you're coming in and you're being different and you're presenting yourself as you, well, nobody else can be you. And they're then going to make a decision like, do I want to work with this person or not? And I think that it's super powerful. That it doesn't mean that it'll resonate with all of your clients, but it definitely could resonate with all of your clients in a bigger way. So a lot of my clients love the pumpkin spice recipe I send out on the Tuesday before, Thanksgiving, but a lot of them don't even open it. So maybe if I send them a personalized video, because they're in Detroit and the Lions are playing on Thanksgiving, and I send a personalized video to my people in Michigan, wishing them a happy Thanksgiving and a go Lions, like maybe that goes a little bit further.
Totally. So, it totally does. And like the cool thing is like a lot of these things can be automated. Like that one we could have like a template for, but just like the birthday emails I've had so much success with, this is the only thing that we did different. We recorded a video, exact same copy, and we sent it out a day earlier. So it says like, hey John, I recorded a quick video for you. Just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. If there's anything you need to let me know. And then I'll BCC the buyer's agent on there just so they're aware it's that person's birthday as well. And then I also host it in Go High Level, so it's not on YouTube, like the birthday email. So it looks like you actually took the time to record the video because the link looks weird, if that makes sense. So it's pretty cool, like what that does. And I've had a lot of good responses of people just saying thank you. And that goes a long mile because if you're a top producing loan officer, you should be doing this, but most just don't remember to say happy birthday to their clients. So instead of an automated email that's just like what everybody else sends with like a stock video, what if it was you instead? Like imagine how powerful that is because they don't know that.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. I think that it's really cool. So again, if anybody's got questions about CRMs, I answer them all the time. We'll put a bunch of stuff in here. How you can get with Devin and kind of check out what he's doing. I would highly recommend if you're not happy with the way that your marketing's going, like just you feel like your CRM, and don't expect any CRM ever to hit 100%. I tell people this all the time, like you're never going to be 100% happy with anything that you do. Like I've never found many things that I'm 100% happy with. I'll say many, that leaves open that there could be some. But short of that, your CRM is something, if you're at like 80%, 85% happy with all of the things that it does, I think you're in a really good spot. Yeah. However, I find most people are probably in the like 50 to 60. Like it's just good enough that they're not willing to go through the pain of changing. And it's not so bad that they like can't live with it anymore. So they kind of just hover in that, like just constantly unhappy about it. If you are in that situation right now today, and we start looking at some of the things that I believe are going to be happening, I think that we're going to see the Fed cutting rates here in September. I think on the heels of that, we may see 5 or 6 consecutive cuts in a row after. And once that happens and the bus is going down the road, crappy CRM or not, you're going to be really busy doing some other things. So I think right now is just a fantastic time to get your poop in a group. CRM, make sure that some of those things are on the back end are dialed in. Make sure that you've got some type of campaign to re-engage your closed clients. Even if you haven't reached out to them in a year, starting next week is the best time to start if you haven't been doing it for the last year. Because your servicers are going to do a much better job as rates come down of not losing, they having less runoff. I think that the servicers are positioned really well to win. Even with the stuff with the credit triggers, like that kind of going away, they're still going to be able to do some different things. So the servicers are set up to win. You've got to proactively do some stuff if you don't want your servicers to refinance your book. And getting ahead of the game today is, I think from a cost benefit standpoint, it's just now is the time to really be thinking about what your business looks like in 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, could not agree more.
And what? So you've worked with all these loan officers. I know you just started. It wasn't that long ago that you started kind of actually taking clients. You just quit your job. Right? How scary was that to say, like, I'm going all in. I'm betting on the jockey instead of the horse. I'm doing it. People call you crazy. You're getting ridiculed by family members yet?
Yeah. Actually, I have all my Facebook posts, funny enough. Yeah, it was definitely scary. I have a weird disease, ulcerative colitis, and I've been doing well for the last 5 years. But my biggest thing was like, I'm going to lose my health insurance, and I got to pay. It's a lot of money when you have like a disease, like a disease like that. So I was scared about the money, but also I knew like how important this was to do for loan officers. I was talking to a loan officer that spent $3,000 on just the website, and then it was $500 a month to manage his SEO, which is just adding like a blog or so a month. I was like, this just is not right. Like, I want to do something where every loan officer, it's not a crazy amount that they can build their personal brand, but it's everything that they need. And the feeling would not go away of like, I gotta do this because this is like what loan officers need. But was I terrified? Yes, I'm still terrified. I'm like a week from leaving full time. I don't have my health insurance anymore. Don't have that safety net of like someone paying for my salary. Like, it's all in. And yeah, it's been going great so far. I'll leave it as that. Like, I've been getting a lot of clients. I've really tried to build a brand. This is my company, so everything that I do comes back to me, right? And everything is public that I do too. And yeah, I'm glad I did it, no doubt, but it's terrifying.
And so what do you think are as you like kind of break down other people's, right? So people are coming to you essentially with a problem. They show up to you because they have a problem that they need solved. What do you think is the thing that you see as the biggest number one problem that you see with the loan officers that are coming your way, that they're like the biggest problem that they have?
Yeah, I think there's 2 different clients with this. So I would say like a majority of my clients, they've used another Go High Level instance or another CRM. Okay. They're like, hey, I got this like snapshot. It's great. I've never used this thing. Like, I paid this amount of money and it's just like sitting there. I'm like, okay, so let me do everything for you. The only thing I need you to do is record, like do the videos and do what I tell you to do because I know what's working. So that's like client number 1. They are loving the service because I'm doing everything for them instead of just having like a CRM that sits there, right? You have a second type of client where they're at like a corporate mortgage company where it's branded through like corporate, that company, and they're thinking about leaving, or they're just like, what if the company closes, or maybe they sell, or like, I don't want to be there anymore. I need to get my database into another CRM. And if I transfer, I don't want anybody to like see a difference when I transfer. Because what I do is I have them by a domain, which is their first and last name. Highly recommend that. Crazy story, and maybe we can take this out if we need to. One of the loan officers I work with, he lost his domain to his name and it turned into an explicit site that he can't get back. So if you haven't bought your domain, I would recommend it because that could happen to you. But when they move companies, now it's devengillen.com, right? It's not devengillen@rate.com. It's like devin@devengillen.com. They won't even know that you switched companies at that point. So.
Hey, I want to get a quick message to you here about adding value. And our industry is terrible at telling you, do this, do that. So many people want to add value to you, but value is not in what I give. It's what you receive and whether it makes sense for you or not. We've got a community, CEO 1440, where we post every single day, lots of things, sales scripts, a whole plethora of things. So I don't know what particular things are going to add value to you. They probably all won't, but definitely some of them will. The community is free. Would love for you to get in there, sniff around, poke around, and maybe there's more stuff we can do. But I know it starts because if you're anything like me, you like to get in there, check things out on your own before you go and sign up for some large commitment. So get in there, check out our group. I bet that there's something in there and there's little things that you can do that had you known 6 months ago, you'd be making more money today. Join the group. Look forward to seeing you in there. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, I own all of my kids' domains, right? Like everybody in the Jerkovich family at .com, I own them all. I have for years, right? I just get the GoDaddy bill. It just shows up with whatever it is, $22 a year. But highly do recommend that. I'd say that .coms will be around forever, but might be a cool thing. So yeah, I can definitely see that. And when you are kind of piggybacking off of your company's website, you're building their SEO, not yours.
Yes, exactly.
And it's crazy too. Some of those websites, I look at them and I'm like, so this is your place that you're directed. Yeah. This is your company provided site. Well, as soon as I go back on any page on your site, it actually directs me all the way back to the companies. It just takes me off of, like, you're not even the focal point of your own website. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I didn't even notice that. I'm like, yeah, and this button doesn't work and that button doesn't work. So just walk people through really quick. So you help out with, and tell me if I missed any of these things. You help out just with like kind of the go high level CRM. Mm-hmm. You help out with retargeting of existing closed clients, like a reactivation campaign is kind of another one of the big things you're doing. And then you will also go in and help people run Facebook ads. So you'll help kind of almost as like an ad agency. I don't know what else to call it. You'll help them run Facebook ads, drive traffic back. And you also help with websites, landing pages, kind of a complete CRM marketing system. Did I miss anything else?
No, that's it. There's like specific things I offer, and there's a lot of value in it. John, I'll send the link for the ad management. I call it the launch code because it's ads plus database, and I'll send a link for just the database reactivation. But like you explained it really well. I run ads. You have to like qualify. I'm not just saying this as like a marketing tactic or sales tactic. Like I actually have to qualify you for this because I know what works. One, you have to be a loan officer that's willing to do the videos and follow up with the clients. No, you can't have your assistant follow up with the clients. It doesn't work. Two, you got to know like these leads come through and there's a lot that comes through. So you got to be ready to take leads on. So I like, we can do ads. I just got to make sure it makes sense for you, if that makes sense. And then the database, that's where I'm like taking care of all the CRM work, staying in front of their clients, realtors, keep it easy.
Yeah, and just from my approach, if you're, and a lot of my clients, right, they're broker shops, they're 1 to 5 loan officers, you just in there in the grind, bulk of their income is generated by, their own loan origination activities, and they're just like, it works perfect for them, but you got to be willing to, lead buys only work if you work the leads. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter who you are, you have to have that part. And it's having systems in place to ensure that those things happen consistently, because lead conversion at the end of the day is what really matters. You can have more leads. If you don't convert them any better, having more doesn't help you. You just have more that you waste. So
exactly.
Some really good things.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, John. That's exactly right.
Yeah, no, I mean, if my conversion's at 1% and I have 100 leads, I write 1. Yep. if my conversion, I get 200 leads, I only write 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I need to get I have to be able to convert. So I need to move up. I need to convert constantly a higher percentage of my leads while also increasing the number of leads. It's upside down pyramids. And you've got to be doing 2 things simultaneously. One other thing that we're going to do inside of our community is I'm going to so we have at the Mortgage Broker Builder, I have a community inside of a platform called Circle, where I post every single day, just a lot of different stuff. We're going to create a little like segment inside of there where Deven and I are going to do some stuff. He already does sales calls with his people, but we're going to kind of take what he does and what we do, put it together. And people that are using both of these, we're going to give you a little bit something extra. So some extra things to help you from a marketing standpoint, a sales standpoint. We're going to try and supercharge it. We want to see you be super successful on my end. I just want to see people. I have a belief that if you just stay in the game long enough, you keep writing loans, you keep doing stuff, there's ways that, we can work together. And I think on Deven's side, if we have enough people that are there just, in the mix doing things, it will kind of help everyone out. So we're going to, if you're interested in his CRM, let me know. We're going to create a separate group inside of our other group where there's just going to be some extra tidbits. So again, I think it's super cool. I appreciate what you're doing out there. I really like that. Like there's just a lot of things that I feel are pointing in the same direction. And the fact that it's not one size fits all, that you're brand new or relatively new, that you're still willing to be very moldable and, doing things a la carte. I don't think it's a great business model, right? In the long term.
For me,
like,
it's good for you guys. For me, it sucks, but good for you guys.
Yeah, you're going to run out of hours. But I've seen that problem with other CRMs that it starts out great when they have, 15 people, and then at 100, everything kind of starts to break. And I feel like you already understand like where you're going to break, and you're not going to sprint past it.
Nope.
So I think that you're not going to break it on purpose until you get a few more things dialed in. So I appreciate that a lot, because when stuff breaks, it's just not, it's not fun. It makes everyone look bad. Yeah. Any parting words that you would have for somebody out there that's maybe struggling to, there's just a lot of people that are just struggling month in, month out. They're closing onesie, twosie loans, not a lot of consistency. They don't know where their next deal's coming from. Any words of wisdom that you would have for them as the person on the outside that's
for sure.
not a loan originator?
Yeah, it kind of has like an outside viewer on this. Like I get it. Like it's extremely stressful. I have 3 kids, my wife, and I left my full-time job for the mortgage industry, which is like having the hardest time they've had in a while. So like I get how stressful that is. Not as stressful for me as for you guys. But I would say if you're still in the industry and you've lasted these last 3 years, think about how many loan officers have left the industry. That's going to be a wave of people. So as you continue to build your personal brand, you're going to be in a better position that you were even during COVID, because all those loan officers have left the industry. So many have retired, so many have just completely left. The one thing is you got to build your personal brand. I would love to work with you, but just as trying to help out, even if you don't work with me, you have to build your personal brand, especially with AI. We talk about these big lenders buying companies. A lot of people forget about AI. AI is going to be like whole other level things that they're coming out with. But the one thing AI can't take away from you is you as an individual. And we'll see this. We've seen this with video editing. You remember those video edits, like the overly edited videos is what worked well. And like that's what people wanted. People don't want that anymore. They literally just want subtitles and that's it, because it just became too much. It wasn't authentic enough. So my last words is, even if you don't work with me, just build your dang personal brand and find a CRM that works for you before it's too late. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I think that's very funny. I think it's great advice, and we'll probably leave it there. But just be yourself. Like in the world where we're heading, where everything is AI and everything is fake, what's actually going to be monetizable is what it's not. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's going to be just you talking to a camera, and maybe not having, probably like having it be less than perfect.
Yeah,
will be what I think is going to be a little bit more authentic. And I've actually been changing things on my end to like less edits, less different stuff. And I start just in my world, I start all of my social media starts from a video. It starts with me talking, and then, so it just becomes authentically me transcribed. And then I just take it and like kind of pull the transcription, make sure that it's English and not the way I talk. Cause right, it would be like at like a second grade level. And that's how all of my stuff works. And it's gotten really easy for me, but I think it can become easy for everyone else as well. So, hey, I appreciate you doing this. I look forward to working with you. I think that we've got some cool things coming. And again, anybody, if you got questions for me about a CRM, anything like that, reach out. We'll have some links and some stuff in here of how you get a hold of Deven. And he's got a bunch of different packages and different things that he does. What I would tell you to do is book a call, get on a call with him. He's not going to try and sell you something you don't need. I've actually had people that he's told, like, you're just not far enough and you're like, it doesn't work for you. I can't really help you. I can do this, happy too, but I'm not going to do all this because you don't have enough close clients. So when I hear somebody unselling someone that would buy, like that tells me that they have a certain amount of like legitimacy, that they're not just selling you because they can. They want to sell you because.
John, it's sorry to interrupt you. There was one person you sent over that I actually told, like, this doesn't make sense. So, like that you sent over, but I'm like, I can help you put it into your own Go High Level. It's like, I really am very specific who I decide to work with. And if it doesn't make sense, I'll tell them. But.
Well, and that's something that I would say is just sage advice from somebody. You've been self-employed for a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes selling, well, I made this mistake when I first started helping brokers. I would take anybody that I wanted to, and I probably brought on some projects of people that had no business opening their own brokerage shop. Yeah. And then they sucked the life out of me. And they were like, I wouldn't say they were terrible people, but it was bad for me. It was probably bad for them. And most of the time now when somebody's looking at starting a new brokerage, I'm like, you probably really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like I probably wouldn't do that. I would go hang your hat at one of those places first. Like you've worked at, this one place for 6 years. And you own, football teams and basketball teams and all that, and your leads come to you on a silver platter. Like the new reality is not that. Don't go and they're like, oh. And I talked to them 6 months later after they did it, and they fail really hard. And they're like, yeah, I probably should have listened. So awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Take care, man.